Story 1. Am I the a-hole for telling my stepdaughter I'm not paying her college tuition? Alt account. I am the stepmother to D, who is 17, graduating high school. My husband, M44, is a 100% total and permanent disabled combat war veteran. He has been separated from D's mother, P, since 2011. We met in 2013, got married in 2015, and I have been in D's life ever since. To make a long story short, D's mother, P, has a degree she doesn't use. Has over $120,000 in student loans and had to struggle. So naturally, D thinks she has to take out student loans and struggle too. But she doesn't. I am a school certifying official at a community college, certifying veterans and military education benefits to the Veteran Affairs. I know what benefits are out there for my stepdaughter due to her father's service-connected disability. My stepdaughter is eligible for CH-35, or Dependents Education Assistance Benefit, which is a monthly stipend paid to my stepdaughter, plus a state benefit that is a tuition waiver up to 8 semesters/4 years. It covers all tuition fees, just not books or campus housing or food plans. Each of these benefits take anywhere from 45 to 90 days. I have urged my stepdaughter to apply after her 18th birthday later this month, so her applications can be processed before she starts school in August at the university of her choice. She has been accepted to a $25,000 per semester university, where freshmen must stay on campus and have a meal plan and etc. D has asked me and her father to co-sign on student loans because her mother refuses to. We have spoken to her time and time again about applying for these VA educational benefits, and she claims her mother is telling that she would not qualify for them. Which is false. This is my job. I know the ins and outs of these benefits like the back of my hand. My husband and I are not in a place to co-sign student loans, because my husband is still fulfilling his child support obligation until D has finished her undergrad. D has said that it is a waste of her time to apply for these benefits, despite the fact she is eligible for it. My husband and I have told her no, we will not co-sign on student loans when she could very well have her tuition paid for. She is just refusing to listen to us and is listening to her mother, which is going to bite her in the butt. Her mother is telling her that we are wrong, when I have worked this job for 12 years and know what I'm talking out. Now D is unbelievably pissed at us. Claims we are ruining her future, how is she going to afford college, etc. I feel for her, I love her, but I am also not about to co-sign on loans when she has these benefits at the will ready for her to use due to her father's time in the service. Am I the a-hole? Reddit? Redditor comments. 1. Kinda sorta not the a-hole, but your stepdaughter is in a terrible position. She is, probably not for the first time, stuck between opposing sides and cannot please those most important to her. I'm sure she would love to be able to just say, "Fu at K y'all." Maybe you can fill out the paperwork for her. Ask her to sign it, telling her it's between the two of you only. Can you imagine having someone you love and trust telling you college is a waste of time, because they are not good at their life choices? Someone needs to really help this child make good life choices and not criticize them for being placed between crazy mom and completely cement confident stepmom. 2. Not the a-hole. You gave D extremely clear and specific steps she has to take to pay for college. She for some reason decided instead of doing any of this she could just get a loan and make you responsible for repaying it if she doesn't. She's an adult now, it's time to make adult decisions and face adult consequences. She decided not to seek any of the assistance available to her, and these are the consequences. I might feel a little differently, but not much, if you could easily afford to co-sign or even pay for her, and were only withholding it to teach her a lesson, but $200,000 for a 4-year degree is a metric fuckton of debt to be saddled with, especially to be saddled with it on behalf of a person who has already shown she does not take responsibility for her own debts. 3. Not the a-hole. Sometimes people, even 17-year-olds, get stuck. She believes her mother wouldn't lie, but her mother is wrong. She is not listening to you. Can you get yourself, your husband, her, and her mother together with of your co-workers in a conference to go over options? Maybe if it isn't coming from you but a third party, her mom would listen? 4. Not the a-hole, but is there any chance her mom did something sketchy that could have screwed up her eligibility and she, D's mom, isn't telling her/you? It just seems weird that D/her mom are so adamant that she isn't eligible. The application can't be any more complicated/effort than applying for student loans. 5. Not the a-hole. Applying shouldn't be that much of a hassle for her. Sounds like you're familiar with the process, so you could make it even easier. Applying for scholarships and benefits is not an unreasonable ask when you're the one paying for college. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for making my husband take the day off with our sick kid instead of me? Am I the a-hole for making my husband take the day off unpaid to stay home with our kid? Kiddo came home with pink eye last night. Husband didn't notice when he picked her up, but by the time I got home it was obvious. I immediately went and got her the required drops to clear it up. Per our health unit rules, she has to have been on drops for 24 hours and have no eye goop before returning to school. So someone has to stay home today. At best she returns tomorrow. We asked everyone. 6 different family/friends. No one is available. So one of us has to stay home. Here are the facts. I work in healthcare, I have a full schedule of patients today. I am only in this clinic once a week, so rescheduling my day is challenging. There is no one to cover. These patients would have to wait at least another week to see me. He works in a warehouse and delivers building material for contractors, builders, and homeowners. There are deliveries scheduled, but he didn't say anything was urgent. I have sick days and personal days remaining. He does not get sick days, but could move a vacation day. I am salaried, and the breadwinner. He works hourly and will lose a day's pay, but he is working an extra day this week, so it will balance out. He will, however, lose the extra day and the overtime. I have already said that I will stay home tomorrow if needed, even though it would mean rescheduling a bunch more patients, but it's a clinic I'm in 4 days a week, so rescheduling it's a lot easier. Am I the a-hole for making him take the day off unpaid? EDA info down thread, thanks to the user who curated this. Missing info people. He assumed I would volunteer to take the day off and is a bit pissed about having to take the day off. There is also an underlying element of the mother being the default parent here that I'm constantly up against. He is mad about missing out on overtime. I have already committed to taking tomorrow off. And I have already taken 2 other days off when kiddo was sick. He has not. Redditor comments. 1. Not the a-hole. He's mad cause she won't take the time off. She's already taken time off to care for kiddo being sick and will take more time off the day after. She's literally asking him to take 1 day off finally and provide the sick care their child needs. And he's mad cause he feels it's not his responsibility. Nope, he's lucky you bothered asking around. I couldn't figure out why you asked 6 other people to take care of your kiddo before him taking the day off. Now we know why. 2. I don't quite get the YTA votes. Sharing the days staying home is incredible normal. And while already being the breadwinner, she somehow is also alone responsible for taking of every time the child is sick and getting them treatment in the first place. What is the game plan here? Op not getting actual days of or vacation days because she uses them caring for the child, and husband would lose out on money. Husband never taking of days because money, or husband taking days of when feeling like it. 3. Not the a-hole. He takes the first day, you the next for this time. It is the best solution to the problem of today, as you staying home would involve 13 other people. But you guys need to talk about how you will handle these issues in the future. This discussion should take place when you are both full and rested and not upset at each other. I suggest that you take a walk together. I find talking about difficult things is easier walking arm in arm than sitting at the table and looking at each other. You need to decide how you are going to decide who stays home with the kid. Example, if the sick day is on your once a week day, then he is the first call. Any other day, you are, because you won't lose a day's pay. Or some other setup that feels fair to both, that will not get anyone fired, will have the least impact on family finances, and will not affect any of the careers negatively. Gender should not be a factor in this. 4. Not the a-hole. I'm a husband and the breadwinner, and I've taken far more days off to take care of sick child than my wife has. Mostly because it is easier for me to do so, as my wife works in healthcare, and also because she wants to appear reliable to her employer so that she'll get a permanent position soonish. And also because of work schedules, she often starts work by the time me and our child wakes up in the morning, so if I notice that our child is sick during the morning routine, it becomes a major hassle if my wife has to come home just for me to go to work. It is certainly more expensive for us when I'm staying home, but overall I kind of like doing it. Not very ill child, maybe we can do something simple outdoors. Very ill child, then child mostly sleeps or watches TV and I sometimes get a little time to relax. Stomach issues are a different thing, not as relaxing. 5. Not the a-hole. When both parents work, both parents need to take turns taking off for a sick child. It is very reasonable for you to ask him to take the day, since your day is scheduled and difficult to rearrange, while his is less scheduled. It sounds as though him missing the day of pay is not going to have a long-term impact on your ability to meet your household day-to-day expenses. The fact that you have already taken more days off than him for child illness means it is his turn. This child has two parents. Both parents need to take turns. The mother is not always the default person who needs to take off for the sick child. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for refusing to apologize after receiving verbal and emotional abuse? My wife asked me to help get some pictures of a dog, we run a kennel, at 8:30 last night right after I said I was going to bed. I didn't want to as I was tired and in some discomfort from a masonry project that day, but I agreed. I've been photographing puppies and dogs for a decade and I have a process for creating a relaxing setting. Stoic, tired, I sat and started interacting with the dog. For reference, he's a sweet 3-year-old mini poodle but is also very camera shy. Almost immediately my wife took on an impatient and contemptuous tone and started deriding me for not helping, which made both the dog and I uneasy. Per usual, I was called various names, mocked, and was the subject of numerous character assassinations. I never raised my voice and I do my best to choose my words carefully. I made one attempt to explain that this requires patience and time. She finally got a few terrible pictures, someone had emailed and asked for them, and that experience was over. I was then expected to apologize for being a dick, that's the whole complaint, and when I simply said, "I love you, good night," there was no response. Rolled over this morning, gave a hug, said good morning and was immediately prompted for an apology. I said I love you, no response, so I started my day. I feel like I'm not wrong here, but if I knew it, I guess I wouldn't be asking. Thanks. I'm advance. Redditor comments. 1. Not the a-hole. You didn't do anything wrong, and from what you've written it seems like you were calm and kind to the dog and to your wife. Your wife on the other hand is abusive, rude, and definitely in a hole. I'm sorry, but if she treats you like this regularly you need to tell her to either get therapy or leave her, because this is toxic and she is going to make you very unhappy regardless of the fact that you clearly love her. Please don't stay with someone who can't even show you basic respect. 2. Everyone sucks here. She called you names and belittled you when you were doing her a favor. She's in a hole to you. You allowed her to belittle you and call you names. You haven't called her out on it. You told her you love her twice when she clearly doesn't even respect you. YTA to yourself for putting up with this abuse. 3. Okay, you're NTA for the question you actually asked. Should you apologize to your abuser for her abuse? Answer of course is heck no. But I am gonna call you out. You are lying to your wife, and possibly yourself, every time you tell her you love her. Hate to break it to ya, but that ain't love, sweet pea. There's a lot of other words what you two have going on could be called, but love ain't one of them. Now if you're happy being in an abusive relationship, that's fine, you do you. But don't lie about it and say it's love, cause that's just disrespectful to the people who do love you and others. 4. Not the a-hole. 2 words you wrote decided it for me. Per usual. Sounds like this is something you have experienced before and become used to. You shouldn't. Verbal abuse is still abuse. 5. Not the a-hole. No need to apologize to your abuser. I don't know if you have ever talked to her about the way she treats you, but placating the abuser, hugs, saying you love her, will not work. If she was capable of being loved into treating you better, she would not still be acting like this. She will probably just escalate gradually over time and see how far she can push it. You sound like a wonderful person and deserve much better. If you need more clarity on your relationship, I highly recommend the book Too Good to Leave Too Bad to Stay, which walks you through making your own decision.